watching the news bulletin. I'm Bong from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual. Cabinet meeting looks into major transport projects. Airlines asked to make plans to repatriate citizens from Ukraine. And international arrivals to Vietnam surged in first 2 months. Infrastructure developments, including transport infrastructure, is one among 3 strategic breakthroughs set by the party in the state. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh said at a meeting between the government and localities on March the 1st.
The virtual meeting looked into pre-feasibility reports of 5 major transport projects, including Belt Road 4 in Hanoi, Belt Road 3 in Ho Chi Minh City, and Biên Hòa Vũng Tàu Expressway, among others. Addressing the meeting, Prime Minister Chinh highlighted the importance of the 5 projects, which are designed to connect big economic hubs and key routes in regions, cities, and provinces. Relevant sites must draw lessons in the construction of the previous expressways to implement the new projects, he stressed. The routes should run in the straightest and shortest direction possible to reduce site clearance costs and create new development space, Chinh said, adding that the first tasks are to speed up the technical work, prepare investments, and minimize procedures. The Prime Minister agreed that half of the investment capital is sourced from the central budget and the remainder comes from localities.
We shall receive updated news more in the following. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh held phone talks with Kasper Rostedt, CEO Adidas Group, on March the 1st. Prime Minister Chinh congratulated Adidas on its good performance in 2021 despite many challenges caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. He said this testament to effective cooperation between Vietnamese government agencies and localities with foreign investors in the spirit of harmonious benefits sharing. Sharing Vietnam's priorities on green growth efforts, the Prime Minister spoke highly of Adidas' commitment to sustainable production in association with environmental protection and efficient use of energy. For his part, Kasper Rostedt thanked the Prime Minister and the Vietnamese government agencies for their care and support for businesses, including Adidas Group, especially during the tough times of the pandemic. He said in the coming time, Adidas will continue to make efforts to take advantage and realize development opportunities in Vietnam as suggested by the Prime Minister. The Central Committee of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union launched the Youth Month 2022 themed Creative Youth during the ceremony in Hanoi on March the 1st on the occasion of the 91st founding anniversary of the union.
The program aims to strongly promote the creative spirit of young people, contributing to creating works, products, and ideas, serving socio-economic development and national defense. Activities during the month will focus on popularizing and educating the glorious traditions of Vietnamese youth and the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union, promoting creativity and voluntary spirit of the youth for community, supporting young people in starting a business and integrating into the world, taking care of children and teenagers, and building strong youth organizations. A dialogue between the first secretary of the Ho Chi Minh Communist Youth Union Central Committee and youth union members and young people, a program to award 10 Vietnam Outstanding Young Faces in 2021 and present the Lý Tự Trọng Award 2022, will be held within the framework of the month.
The Civil Aviation Authority of Vietnam has asked domestic airlines to prepare resources and set out plans to repatriate Vietnamese citizens in Ukraine.
The carriers should report the plans to the authority before March 2nd, the NC said, adding it will inform the airlines about the conduct of the repatriation flights following instructions of the government and the Ministry of Transport. Bamboo Airways said it has sketched out plans to bring Vietnamese citizens back from Ukraine right after it was assigned by the government and ministries and agencies, especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Ministry of Transport, and the Civil Aviation Authority, following the eruptions of the armed conflict in Ukraine. On February 26, Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính also signed a dispatch on the protections of Vietnamese citizens and legal entities in Ukraine.
Vietnam shipped $61.8 million worth of flowers abroad in 2021, up 27% year-on-year, according to the General Department of Customs. The strongest export growth was seen in roses, 100%, followed by lily, daisy, and phalaenopsis orchids. The Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development said Vietnam will sharpen its focus on the available markets in Asia to capitalize advantages on transport costs. Vietnamese flowers have been increasingly favored by foreign consumers. However, the ministry urged exporters to improve their flower quality by applying advanced technology to cultivation. Besides, the ministry said it is necessary for Vietnamese exporters to attend international and domestic ornamental tree and flower exhibitions to popularize their flower brands. In the face of the complex developments of the COVID-19 pandemic in Yên Bái City, Yên Bái Province, Blue Shirt Shepherd teams was established to serve local people's shopping needs while they were isolating at home.
The Blue Shirt Shepherds are local youth union members and took responsibility for collecting information about local people's demand for food, medicine, and other essentials, and then deliver this to their homes.
To support people undergoing medical isolation at home, we help them buy necessities and medicine when they need it.
50 Blue Shirt Shepherd teams with 153 members from the Yên Bái Youth Union have continued their activities in the hope of providing timely support to families with COVID-19 cases. The Youth Union has also called on organizations and individuals to support the families by supplying medicine.
Đồng hành với người dân trong bối cảnh dịch bệnh Covid.
In a bid to support people during the tough times from the pandemic, we mobilized donors to provide families with COVID-19 cases, especially poor households, with necessities and medicine.
Có thêm nguồn lực hỗ trợ cho các hộ nghèo có hoàn cảnh khó khăn.
The young people of Yên Bái City are showing the enthusiasm of the youth by closely working with local authorities and people to quickly control the COVID-19 pandemic and adapt safely in restoring socio-economic development.
Although it's put under control, the fourth wave of the COVID-19 pandemic has hit all aspects of the social life, seriously affecting businesses and people. The labor market is facing a risk of crisis when unemployment and underemployment rates rise sharply and workers' incomes fall significantly. In order to revive the labor market, create more jobs, and ensure the continuity of production and business activities, Vietnam is focusing on implementing many solutions aiming to flexibly and safely adapt to the new normal. According to a report of the General Statistics Office, nearly 180,000 enterprises entered or re-entered the market in 2021, a deep decrease compared to the previous year, while 119,800 enterprises withdrew from the market, an increase of nearly 18% year-on-year. Along with unemployment, the pandemic has made the labor market shift from urban to rural areas and from major economic centers to provinces, leading to a risk of temporary labor shortage and the pressure to solve on-site jobs. The Ministry of Labor, Industries and Social Affairs has issued a program to support the recovery and development of the labor market. With an overall brand value growth of 49%, Vietnam's banking sector is listed among the fastest growing ones in the world by Brand Finance.
It's a list of the 500 banks with the largest brand value globally in 2022, which were released recently by Brand Finance. Vietnam has 11 banks in 2 new phases compared to 2021, namely HD Bank and HB. The 9 others that continue to be in the rankings are Vietcombank, BIDV, Vietinbank, VPBank, Agribank, ACB, and Sacombank. According to Brand Financial report, all Vietnamese brands in its 2022 ranking have experienced growth or added to the country's total as new entrants. Among the brands, MB Bank is the fastest growing with a year-on-year increase of 113% to $642 million. Meanwhile, Techcombank recorded a growth of 80% to $945 million.
The agricultural sector will have to reform its production mindset so as to turn Vietnam into one of the countries with leading agriculture in the world. Deputy Prime Minister Lee Van Thanh recently approved the strategy for sustainable development of agriculture and rural areas for 2021-2030, with a vision to 2050, which continues to affirm that agriculture is the sustainable foundation of the country. Among the detailed targets for 2030, agriculture, forestry, fisheries are expected to achieve GDP growth of 2.5 to 3%. The strategy looks to turn Vietnam into one of the countries with leading agriculture in the world by 2050, by which time its agricultural processing will have become modern, efficient, and environmentally friendly. To that end, the agricultural sector will have to reform its production mindset, which is shifting from that of agricultural production to that of agricultural economy that focuses on value and efficiency improvement and intersectoral development. A special postage stamp collection with the smell of freshly brewed coffee has been issued by the Ministry of Information and Communications and Vietnam Post in a bid to popularize the image of Vietnamese coffee.
Using scented print technology, the collection, named Cây Cà Phê or the coffee plant, features 43 times 32 mm stamps. The stamps demonstrate different growth stages of the coffee tree, from a seed to a sapling, then a mature tree that flowers and bears fruits. They also depict coffee beans and a hot cup of coffee. The coffee plant was introduced to Vietnam by the French in 1857. The plants are grown on highlands and high mountains with suitable climate and soil, giving the local coffee beans a distinct flavor. Coffee has become one of the key export commodities of Vietnam, ranking second in terms of turnover, only after rice.
A festival will take place in Ho Chi Minh City this month to promote cultural values and the beauty of the Azan, Vietnamese traditional dress. First held in 2014, the Azan Festival is organized annually in March to preserve traditional cultural values and the beauty and grace of the Azan, a symbol of feminine beauty in Vietnam. It is also expected to help attract more tourists to the city. An array of activities is scheduled during the festival, expected to bring a new experience to visitors who want to find out the quintessence of the Vietnamese traditional long dress. This year's event is organized in response to the 112th anniversary of the International Women's Day, March the 8th, and the 13th National Women's Congress 2022-2027 tenure.
The General Statistics Office reported that the majority of international holiday makers arrived in Vietnam by air, accounting for more than 87% of the total foreign arrivals. In February alone, the number of foreign visitors to Vietnam increased by over 49% month-on-month and more than 196% compared to the same period last year. The positive results were attributed to Vietnam's pilot roadmap for reopening its door to foreign tourists and the resumption of international air routes. The tourism industry is implementing the second phase of a pilot program on welcoming international visitors. We're making necessary preparations to fully open tourism activities from March 15. This year, the sector is expected to serve 65 million holiday makers, including 5 million foreigners.
And that's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.